Hello and welcome. This is a collective tarot and astrology reading for the full moon in Libra happening on March 25th, 2024 at midnight Pacific time. It is designed for both comfort and agency so that you can make the most of the astrology of the moment. Because it is intentionally soft-spoken, if you happen to listen to this at a later date, you can still use this as a sleep aid or as an opportunity to reflect on what happened at this point in time. Now on to the reading. If there's one thing I want you to know about these cards, it's that the reversals are actually the good parts. I know, straying from the Ten of Cups may feel like an icky thing, but this particular spread is one of my own designs. The left side is what we need to be wary of, while the right side is what's worthy of our time right now. And it's eclipse season. The light of the moon is obscured by Earth's shadow, by us, and all the light that she usually radiates will be dimmer. Generally, eclipses obscure a lot of information, which you can see in these cards. This particular lunar eclipse will be happening in Libra, which means the axis between Libra and Aries will be the focus. These signs sit across from one another and carry a certain through line. While every sign is many things, one of the biggest qualities of Libra is that it's concerned with how we relate to one another, whereas Aries is often concerned with how one sets themselves apart from others. You can see how that connects thematically, right? This lunar eclipse is about exploring who we all are, as ourselves and to others. With the sun, moon, and earth all lined up, we're reminded how we all exist with one another, and how harmonious or disharmonious that is. And answering that is already a big ask. So the fact that we still have so many planets in Pisces further obscuring it, that doesn't help. Pisces doesn't clearly delineate things. It swims in the breadth of the sea. Two fishes spiraling, constantly connected. Things are murky. And we have to accept that. Especially right now. And, as a heads up, we're very close to the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Mercury is already in Aries, and usually it wants to be straightforward. Zip straight to the point. No dancing around things. But with Venus, Saturn, Mars, and Neptune in Pisces, we're still going to be swimming for a bit. And that is something that is reflected in the cards. As I mentioned earlier, the cards on the right are what we need to be wary of. There is a strong pull towards entertaining nostalgia, leaning on things that were sweet and good to us once before. The Six of Cups is all about gifts and charity in the past. But we can't stay there. Right now we can think about it like currents pulling us back, holding us back. And it makes sense why it's so alluring. There is still a lot of uncertainty going on right now. So if you're feeling askew and adrift and just stressed, that's understandable and justifiable. But the answers we need don't exist in the past. That's not to say it's not comforting, and if you need comfort, there's nothing wrong in remembering what was good in the past. But again, we can't stay there. And the next two cards offer a bit of insight on the future we should have our sights on. We have to be very intentional about the ways in which we commune with others. We have to be very honest about whether our values align with the people we've been forging a future with. The Ten of Cups reminds us of the scope of our legacies. What does that look like for you all this time? When you think about the future and what you wanted from it, who is there with you? What are you reminiscing about? What are you proud of? Because the Six of Pentacles asks you to revisit those concepts. Because they're not fair. They haven't been fair and they haven't been equal. Something is askew. And maybe it's simply because you no longer want that vision of the future like you used to. Which is okay. Values change. We grow. We evolve. We experience things that make us question everything. So, have you changed? Is what you wanted changed? And what actually makes you feel fulfilled now? Because those 10 cups should be nourishing. They should be both what you want and need. Don't waste your time with the things that keep draining you. It's okay to let go of those things. If we think of the scales and the Six of Pentacles, think about what you'll be freeing up in your life. Free yourself. And the benefits of that, they're somewhere on the horizon. Eclipses aren't the time to necessarily start something new, but it is a good time to revisit what you've already started. We can see that with the cards on the right. While it's not quite in our grasp, there is something brewing beneath the surface, and we really have to be willing to work on it while it's still in this nascent period, because it's not ready yet. And jumping the gun could set you back. Don't start the party before you have things ready. First, tend to the garden with diligence and care. Don't pluck the flowers before they're ready. Let them bloom. It is spring after all. In this deck, the void is the fool, and it's not quite ready to emerge. It's not quite ready to bloom. But it is there. You have to trust that it's there. We also have the Four of Wands and the Empress and the Crone of Pentacles, which is really the King of Pentacles. It's time to tend to that garden. The Four of Wands is generally a time for celebrations. But we gotta wait. I don't know about you, but with this reversal, I'm noticing that the castle in the sky, in the background, more and more. So those ideals, those dreams, they're even further away. That doesn't mean we stop building, though. It's time to be patient. Look at the gaze of the Empress. She can see what you're doing. She's staring in that direction after all. But she too isn't feeling her best. Remember, this is a lunar eclipse in Libra, who is ruled by Venus. She's a little out of sorts. Like us. We're all discombobulated. But all her power is still in her domain. Just perhaps a little dimmed. But it's still hers. It's just an issue of control. It's just an issue of restraint. The Crone of Pentacles sits at the base of this side. Traditionally, they're the king. They hold all the resources we need to make things happen. Again, it's not quite there yet. It's another reversal. We're encouraged to continue moving forward, though, because the future is in our sights. It's just not quite in our grasp. And I know it's Aries season. The feeling of moving forward is tempting. But there's just too much baggage we gotta let go of first. We are dragging around the things that are holding us back. So release that. The most practical advice I can give you for this period in time is to let yourself let it all go. Don't be afraid of losing something, because it's getting in the way of everything you could gain. Lighten that load for yourself and for your own goals. If you've made it to the end of this reading, thank you. If you're curious about the spread, it's the Fire Badge Pretty One, which, yes, is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reference. I have a post on my Substack that goes into the specifics of it, and you can try it yourself. I'll put a link below. And if you're wondering about the cards, it's the Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabriella Herstick and Snakes for Hair. I chose this particular deck because it's very Libran. It's sensual. The collage style lends itself to a nice metaphor of astrology. We're all pulling together disparate parts of ourselves and trying to make our best to make it beautiful, to make it make sense. And ultimately, it does fit. We can find our place amidst the mess and the noise. I hope you're able to find some solace during this lunar eclipse. It's a bit of a doozy, but you'll make it out okay.